Clubhouse, LashCast ClubHouse Studios, we'll just say, with another episode for you today. And today we have a live studio audience. We're learning as we go. Hopefully that worked. That was a little sound effect. If there's nothing there, then we'll just say that there was supposed to be cheering. Yeah. We haven't tested that little feature yet. But that said, we're excited to be back as always with our family to talk to you guys about things that you need to learn about or know about or things that we see in the industry.
Or we can encourage you about.
Yeah. And really, we saw some stuff recently. Tuscany, if you don't know, is on Lash Queens. That's her favorite place to go. And she does a lot of encouraging and supporting and teaching and just sharing tips and stuff. And she sees stuff in there that goes, this is interesting. People are not behaving or acting or giving the responses that we think would be really helpful. So today we thought we would go into some of those things and talk about a couple situations where people were sharing stuff and Tuss had a different take on what might be the right way to go, right?
Yeah. And so it always gets my goat, and I'm thinking my wheels are turning, and sometimes people respond and sometimes they don't. But one that really kind of got to me was a gal who posted screenshots of the conversations that she had with this client. So what happened was the client came in and had tons of waterproof mascara on, and she made a couple of attempts to try to get the stuff off, but apparently it had gone so much into the appointment that she said, listen, I don't either have enough time for you. Why don't you come back at another time when I'll have without mascara on, and we'll do the appointment. And the client agreed, left, and then no-showed to that time that they had both agreed to. And so the client or the lash artist who was asking the question, I guess she kept the amount because it was a deposit or it had been online. 2 years later, the client is calling her back and saying, I want the appointment that I paid for. Can you give me the appointment that I paid for? And the anonymous lash artist was asking, what would you do? Should this person has been really nasty and I've been very nice to her. What should I do? And most people were like, she no-showed on you. You get to keep the deposit. It's 2 years later. She doesn't get anything. Some people were like, well, what are your state's requirements? Are you allowed to keep that? Some people were very focused on the chargeback with the legality of keeping the money. And I said, hey, I think this might go against what most people are saying, but I would actually do the service and I would do it for free. Because even though you're in the right, this person is pretty upset about it, and she thinks or feels entitled to that money and feels that you would be cheating her, even if your policies are stated, even if she no-showed. And to me, like, I am trying to avoid a bad review because it is a detraction from your business. It's a public detraction from your business. Not to say that you can't recover from it if that happens to you, because there are ways to, sometimes it's beyond your power. It's out of your power. And there's a right way and a wrong way to respond to that. But we're talking about before the review has actually happened. And I think that in this case, it would be in your power to do the service, right? And the thing is that we have to remind ourselves we're in the beauty industry, and that means we have to look for ways to find yes. Say yes to people. Find ways of solving people's problems. And I like to sharpen my skills on difficult problems. That's how I look at it, instead of being like, oh, dang, another bad problem. That's kind of how we feel about it. But if you frame it in terms of, this is an opportunity for me to grow my skills in a way that I don't normally do, I want to make this person fall in love with me so much that she will be unable to live without my services, which will mean she will be better behaved and she will come and pay. That's my goal. So if I can do that, sharpen my skills, even if she's going to cost me money and she's a pain in the butt to deal with, I can still get something out of that. So I encourage this person to, see it like that and do the service so that you can avoid getting a bad review. And she wrote back, "Thank you for your opinion, but there's no way in hell I'm going to do that." And I'm like, "No problem. It's okay. I was just trying to offer you a new way of looking at it, and I wish you well." But I just wish that, you may be in the right to say, "I'm not going to see that person. I'm not," and maybe she completely pushes your buttons and you're fine. But I know the unrest and how bad it feels to get a bad review, that I try to do everything I possibly can to do everything so that I don't get one, because that's a matter of pride too.
I mean, it's not just about the bad review, because that is, by the way, bad reviews on Yelp do affect you. If you don't think they do, just look at the last time you went to a restaurant and you saw it at 3.5 stars. You're like, that's an automatic no for me. It doesn't matter if someone told me it's great. I'm like, no, not going to go there. 3.5 stars on Yelp means they probably under-deliver more than they deliver. 4 is like, I really am looking for 4.5 or higher. And so for us, I know that we got a lot of customers because we were 5 stars. We had 5 stars on Yelp, and people really loved it. Yeah, of course, we had a few people here and there.
If you have a business, you are going to get some weirdos, and you're going to get some bad reviews. So everyone knows you can have like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But if you are a 5-star or 4.5 or a 4+, I mean, that's a pretty good testimony to about the kind of quality or service that your potential guests can expect. And maintaining that it's hard to do. That's why it's kind of a rare thing. So pursuing every opportunity as if, each person is potentially going to give you a 5-star review I think it's important and it's worth it.
Exactly. And real quick, let's have you scoot a little bit over this way. Oh, yeah, there you go. That way. Very perfect. Okay.
We're trying to get this.
No,
this new
now you're not in the center. Maybe you want to go this way. I know it's this way. Actually, I'm sorry. We're just floating as we go. Tuss is not happy.
I didn't think you were telling me to go.
No, yeah. Now we're more in the center. Okay, we're just doing this because we're learning how to frame this better, and want to make sure Tessa's beautiful face is right in the center of everything. Okay. All right. So, all right. Back to. But what I was going to say, aside from the bad review, it's about wowing your clients. It's about wowing customers in your community. And if the word gets out that you go the extra mile, it will spread. People will talk about it. I guarantee you the gal, if she took her 2 years later, you wouldn't believe what I got. I went to this place. It's been 2 years. They still took care of me. And not only were they just like, okay, I'll take you. They were excited. They blew me away. They rolled out the red carpet. They treated me like I was a movie star. And that is a story that's going to go on, and you're going to find more clients because of that.
Let me tell you, we had a policy. We would take expired coupons. We would take expired gift certificates. Now, I know that people are like putting that expiration on there so that hopefully they don't have to come in. But, I mean, the thing is that that's a client. That's a potential client that you can wow. Maybe they can't afford it, but they might tell somebody else. It's like making sure that everybody that you have the opportunity to lay hands on is going to walk away a raving fanatic. That's how you make a difference in your community. That's how you make a difference in your reputation. Yeah. And so, I would take expired gift cards. I would even take, I remember one gal, I gave one of my colleagues who was a makeup artist, I gave him a couple gift certificates, and he gave them to his mother. Well, one time she came in, she forgot to bring the gift certificate in, and I honored her anyway. And I didn't have her send the other one in. Like a couple months later, she forgot that she had redeemed it, and she came in to use it, and I did not. I honored it. I still honored it. You know why? Because of the relationship that I had with her son, who was a pretty big makeup artist. And it's like I didn't want to get into an adversarial relationship with her. And so I'm not saying be a doormat. That's not what I'm saying. But find ways to say yes because it's good for your business. You're
playing the big picture here, the long game, as we like to say, because you're saying, if I take care of these people, like we've done this. We've had people, after we closed our salon, we had some gift cards still left. And some of these people still came to us 3, 4, 5 years later almost. And we're like, I have a gift card from you guys. I know it's from 2016, and I know you guys closed your salon.
Technically, it's not even the same business now, but I will still honor that.
Yeah.
I will still honor that. And people will be like, my time is worth money. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But my reputation is worth something as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People will talk, and we realize it's better to take them. One, we may win them over as a client. They may become a regular. So what's one free appointment to have them for next 10 years where we make $50,000 off of them? That's a worthy trade-off. And then if you're only thinking about today, you're not going to see the long-term value of that client. Tuscany has clients who've paid her $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 over like 15 years. That's a lot of money. And if you keep every one of those clients, you can really grow, and you can be able to make good money doing that type of stuff. So we once in a while will do this, and it's never. We both admit now we're not excited about it. We're like, oh
no,
my gosh,
it's not fun. I'm kind of irritated about it, right?
But we also do it because I know that they might become client. They will definitely talk about us, and it will continue to build a reputation here in Pasadena that we are the go-to place to go for lashes, right? And that we do things that other places won't do. And that's the way you stand out. That's how your business will be unique, is you actually are doing things that no one else is doing. If you're basically doing what everyone else is doing, you blend in and you look the same. But if you're willing to honor gift cards way after they're due, or be able to take care of people even though it doesn't financially benefit you at the moment, but you're doing it as a favor to a friend, or this client's not happy and you're trying to make it up to them, and then there is a point, right? There is a point where it becomes abuse. We had this one gal who basically would get gift cards for us for her school. What was it?
Okay.
You want to tell?
So yeah, she was a good friend, and she did refer a lot of people to me. And she asked for a gift certificate for her charity that she was working on. And I said, yeah, here's a full set. Here's 2 gift certificates for full sets. And when nobody bought them at the celebrity auction, she bought them, and she came in and she said, since I don't want lashes, I'm just going to take the $600 and I'm going to take that in facials. And I was like, I didn't know. I had no boundaries. This is like 2006, 2007. And I was like, okay, that sucks, but I'll do it anyway. And so literally for her and her husband came in for a year and got and it was like $100 each time. So basically got
6 appointments.
And I was working for free, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? So anyway, the next time she came in for a gift certificates, I said, sure, absolutely. But I made it very clear that these could not be redeemed by the person that they were being donated by, and that there was actually, it had to be redeemed for the service that it was intended for. So I put some little boundaries around that. But I also didn't lose the relationship. She, even though I felt a little bit taken advantage of, she did refer so many clients over the years that, it kind of worked out. It was fine.
And keeping that relationship was worth it. So making sure you kept her happy, even though I think she knew she was taking advantage of you.
But here's the thing. Okay, it's kind of like a baby who continues to cry in the middle of the night, right? If you wake up and pick up that baby and nurse that baby, wouldn't you want to be snuggled and cradled in the middle of the night? Until you stop doing that, the baby's still going to do it, right? So you can't blame the baby for crying, right? Because they're going to try, they're going to ask, right? But you can't, if you put a boundary out there and just stop delivering, they're not gonna be asking, right?
Yeah.
So I try to look at it like this: every situation that makes me unhappy as a professional, I'm gonna take note of that. I'm not gonna get mad that it's happening to me, but it's so uncomfortable that I don't want to have that ever again. So I'm gonna make a note. What made me unhappy? Was it me not having a boundary? What can I do to prevent this from ever happening again because it's so miserable? So I look at those as opportunities to fortify my castle so that I don't have a crazy coming in, through the gates, through this one opening that I've allowed. So I'll board up that pathway so the crazy can't get in that way. The crazies are always going to be coming, right? You got to find ways to make sure that they're not going to get there. But having those unhappy circumstances as a professional makes you better professional, because if you are constantly on the guard and changing and adapting from each bad circumstance, then you're going to be strong. You're going to grow.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to say,
okay, now I learned this when I used to be a flight attendant, that every flight mishap that happens goes to, like, whenever a plane has to emergency land or crash land or ditch or something, they pop the tail cone or something like that. The NTSB, the National Travel Board, goes in and investigates that, right? Why? Because the airplane with all those souls on board is valuable. People's lives are valuable. They're on the line. And so their safety is critical. So they have to review everything that went down and contributed to that mishap, because maybe it's something that they can avoid next time. And this often is what happens. This is why there are federal regulations when you fly. The pilot has to have his bag of tricks. You're basically the flight plan and all the checks, the plane checks. You know, before you start the plane, you have to do all these checks by hand. You know, in the cockpit, you have to the first officer or the pilot has to go around and actually physically inspect, like, the pitot tubes and certain things, lights, to make sure that they're actually on. As a flight attendant, you have to have certain things on you at all times. Like, one of the things you absolutely have to have at all times is a flashlight. Why? Because in case of an emergency, if all the lights go down, you have to be able to see. It's got to be in your pocket at all times so that you can point and you can see and things like that, right? Because they learned that not having a flashlight at one point proved fatal, right? So reviewing those circumstances that make you unhappy can actually save your life, save your business, save your sanity.
yeah, exactly. So I think right now, for those of you who are dealing with, like, this situation, I know sometimes work for free is painful, but I think in the bigger picture, building your business, building your brand, wowing people is what we always want you to default to. That's where the long-term play is here. That's how you're going to build your business, and that's how people are going to come to know you as the best.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning of this anonymous lash artist, as she writes in. And the first issue that she had was the client came in with mascara, waterproof mascara that did not come off, and we have all been in this situation.